everybody. Welcome to the Raven Sports Podcast this week. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. Thank you for joining us here this week on the Raven Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe. I said that already. Like and subscribe to our social media content. Definitely check us out on our Facebook page. Definitely check us out on our LinkedIn page. Definitely check us out on our Twitter. I keep saying Twitter. X page. Definitely check us out here on YouTube, Twitch, as well. So definitely check us out on all of our social media platforms as well. Like the content, definitely, and hit the like button, subscribe. A lot of you are reading it, especially in the groups on Facebook, especially. Go ahead. I'm sending a lot of invite. Go ahead and like and subscribe to Raven Sports. So definitely go ahead and continue to do that. So definitely do that at the braverysports.company.site is the website. Definitely check us out. You can get hats like this Ravens hat here, the jerseys as well. Ravens, see the patch, the Ravens jersey hats, especially is on there as well. Let's get this going here. Recognize this cartoon bird. These are on the website as well. So definitely go ahead and check that out as well. Got some Adley jerseys just came in. Getting some Gunner stuff. We are ready for you this summer. Orioles baseball all summer long. We're going to be talking about that and definitely selling it on the website. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. Definitely check us out. Notary business been pretty busy lately. Thank all of you out there for definitely checking it out. Thinking about doing another live stream because I'm seeing some things out here to help people with their notary business. So thinking about doing that. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. So definitely too. If you are interested in that Legal Shield, the value of it, I'm gonna keep saying it. Instead of like I'm saying the same thing because I'm saying the same thing because it's still true. The value of getting that in the notary, the value of getting that Legal Shield, if you are a business owner or even if you're individual, especially if you're a person a little bit younger than me, let's say you're in your 30s or whatever it is, and you have little kids and you have kids going to college soon and all that. Definitely, you want to get your legal affairs in order. Get a will done. Get a will done. Get a will done, and you'll definitely see the value. You'll save so much with LegalShield.com. With C Charles Harris Legal Shield. Definitely, or you go on our Facebook page. Give us a call. If you're looking up Harris Legal Shield, go to Harris Legal Shield. Facebook is also on LinkedIn as well. All right. So let's start with football as we always do. Our business of the NFL. And we're going to go ahead and talk NFL tonight. We're going to go ahead and get squared away with that, with football. So let's go ahead and check it out. If it isn't enough, why do we talk football? Look at the guys. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Johnny Gill. I don't know if Bobby's in that picture. Johnny Gill. New addition. So we're going to talk about new additions to the Baltimore Ravens tonight. So definitely in the offseason, right? We're here in the offseason. And the teams change, obviously, every year. So let's just take a look at what's coming in the door here, right? Who are we going to see on the field? We got minicamp going on. We're going to talk a little bit about that. A lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the passing, a little bit about Jerry West, the Lakers coaching search. So a lot, baseball summer, a lot of stuff going on tonight. So we're definitely going to go over a lot of that tonight as well. So, but let's talk first with the NFL. What is coming in the door? So we're seeing it now in minicamp. So obviously we're talking about this here. I'm going to take this down so you can see. A little bit low. I had to take it down because there's a lot going out the door. So this is not, I don't want Raven fans to understand, this is typical Raven business. I've been saying that a lot in the offseason. This is kind of how the Ravens do business, right? More goes out than goes in, but we get a home run in free agency. We get pointed, we get a real good player at a position, a little less expensive than maybe it would be, and we go ahead and we keep our very important free agent. So that was done. So we're definitely taking a look at it. What left out the door? So the Chargers, like they signed a bunch of Ravens. Gus Edwards gone, now signed with the Chargers. He's going to be in the running back battle for the starter there, if probably maybe open the season as the starter. Geno Stone, one of the league leaders in the interceptions last year, signed with Cincinnati. He's going to be a starter for them. Devin Duvernay, one of the best kick returners we've ever had, signed with the Jaguars. So did Ronald Darby. He was a good addition last year, depth of piece last year, signed with the Jags. Tyler Ott filled in for Nick Moore last year, the injured Nick Moore, signed with the Washington Commanders, not that far away. Jets signed John Simpson. John Simpson won the left guard, so he started. He's one of the reasons why our spot is open, signed with the Jets. Tyus Bowser cut from the Ravens. As far as I know, he hasn't signed with anyone yet that I'm aware of. But Tyus Bowser is still out there. Morgan Moses traded to the Jets. So the Jets will have 2/3 of 2/5 of the Ravens line there as well. Morgan Moses probably start for them at right tackle. Deshaun Phillips, special teamer, goes ahead, signs with the Texans. Patrick Queen. Oh, yes, we're ready for Patrick Queen, aren't we? Signed with the Squealers in the offseason. Tyler Huntley. This might be a bigger loss than what we realize. Tyler Huntley signing with the Browns. A lot of y'all have different opinions on Huntley, but not looking so great so far, the backups as well. Kevin Zeitler, another lineman, signed with the Lions. So I'm not even sure he's starting with them yet. Boy, the Lions have a really good offensive line, so it's a good acquisition for them. Jadeveon Clowney, go ahead. The science seems like he's got a different team every year, signed with Carolina. Sam Mustipher signed with the Broncos as well last year. Rock Ya-Sin goes signs with the 49ers. And J.K. Dobbins signs with the Chargers. All right, so what came in? This is the coup de grace right off the bat. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, I think, is one of the better running backs in the NFL still. I don't buy that he's past his prime or anything like that. I think part of the problem in Tennessee why his production dipped, and by the way, the production dipped, and you can see it. 280 carries, 1,167 yards, 12 TDs. I'll take that for dip production all day long. I think what happened is probably just a dip in talent there. Ryan Tannehill was less effective. The receiving core, was less effective. More emphasis on him. He did miss a few more games. But I'm not overall worried about Derrick Henry. He's here with Lamar Jackson. I think this is an outstanding addition. He's trying to stop on the RPO. Good luck. Like Derrick Henry, I don't know which is worse. Like you're getting Lamar Jackson rolling outside on the RPO or Derrick Henry on the inside knocking you over. Oh, and by the way, Patrick Ricard, 300-pounder, is ahead of him. Good luck with that. So very excited about having Derrick Henry. I do have a concern. It's not the age, and this is going to sound silly, and I've repeated this, it's John Harbaugh. Why am I concerned about that? He really doesn't like bell count. We haven't really seen it since we had Ray Rice on the field. John Harbaugh likes to split the carries. He likes to frequently say that's the way the game went, blah, 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 And Derrick Henry, you want to feed the beast. You want to get him his carries. You want him to eat as much as possible. That's kind of not the way they've run the run game. I would think with everything they're doing, it looks like they're going to run more, but we'll see. I think that's probably my only concern with Henry. He can stay healthy. He looks great in the workout videos and all that, etc. If you've seen him. Staying on offense, Devontae Walker. Interesting. A lot of people liked Walker as well. I think the one proof that he had a very good game against Nate Wiggins in North Carolina. When he was at North Carolina, when Nate Wiggins was at Clemson. So a lot of people like Devontae Walker. I think he's going to get every opportunity. He's definitely going to get his opportunity to be, I think, as good, as high as the third receiver early. So definitely I think a good training camp can elevate him to the third receiver. I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. Most likely he starts as your fourth receiver. But I think I'm not out of the pale that he's going to get every opportunity to go ahead and do that. The comp I had with him, I think, is kind of like a Mike Wallace. That's probably right for him, and that's probably good for a third receiver. I think that's how the Ravens are thinking. Now, I don't know if he's ready for that yet. It's too hard to tell. Third round pick. Can he hold on to the football? That's the only thing. Differing opinions on that. A lot of scouts say, well, he cleaned it up. Well, and some, we'll see. I think it's very interesting to see Devontae Walker this season. Interesting to see his progression here as well. Deontay Hardy, he's going to be there as well. So he is going to be in the competition for kick return. That's why he's there. We mentioned Deborah Duvernay going out the door. Deontay Hardy, special teamer here. He's with the Saints, been with a couple teams or whatever. It's going to be him and Tylan Wallace probably as the primary kick returner this season, right? Will he make it as a receiver? Possibly, if they carry 6. I could see that. I could actually see him as the 6th receiver on the team or the 5th, along with Tylan Wallace. So he'll be there. But I think he's going to get a lot of reps. He may just play a lot as a special teamer as well. So I think that's kind of the role that you're going to see him in. I don't know how much you're going to see him as a receiver. He's going to get an opportunity, but I don't know if they view him as that. I believe this guy is probably going to help you on special teams some way or another. If not the primary kick returner, but some way or another. Josh Jones, interesting. Started 3 games last year with the Houston Texans rather. He is right now number 1 on the depth chart at the left guard spot. So interesting. Now, he's going to be in competition, I'm sure, once we get back with Andrew Voorhees. So this is going to be a very interesting competition. I don't think the Ravens here are leaning as much one way or the other here. I think this is a security blanket. I think this is a measure. This is very similar to John Simpson. Guy with starting experience. Maybe a lot of the league is overlooking him. He can kind of fit what he do. Run blocking is solid. Again, they're getting some size here. I think Simpson got off to a kind of a good start, had a good camp, had a good first inning, kind of tailed off. So they're looking for a little bit more consistency. He's going to get the opportunity at left guard for sure. Out of camp, mini camp, now I don't know how much that's saying yet. We'll see when camp breaks for real here in July. But right now, he's been starting left guard. He'll be competing with Voorhees for sure. Speaking of offensive line competition, since you brought it up, Roger Rosengard playing from the University of Washington last year, who made it all the way to the title game last year. Very interesting. A right tackle that played like a left tackle. What does that mean? Michael Penix was left-handed, so he got to cover the quarterback's blind side. They had him over there at the quarterback's blind side. To me, he reminds me a lot of those. The reason I know why he was projected with the Niners so much in the draft is that he is that type of offensive lineman. He's the type of guy like a lot of those old school Niners, Broncos, Mike Shanahan line. So cut off at the knees, quick at the ball, kind of smallish for his size, very good, better pass blocker than you think. That type of guy. Definitely the zone blocking schemes, he's perfect for it. And it'll be interesting to see how this is. This is a very, very, very fascinating right tackle. You couldn't have had 2 guys more different. You got an undersized guy, maybe a little undersized, quick off the ball, good in zones, and then he's competing with Daniel Falele, the mauler. That's wild. I mean, you can't have 2 more different styles. I believe Rosengard should start. I don't think they drafted him that high to sit him on the bench, but I think Falele is going to get an opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see how they play. That's fascinating. This is going to change a lot, how this goes in camp, to see how well Rosengard does. Familiar. He's got a Ravens jersey on here, even though he's returning. He played a couple years in New England. Chris Board is coming back. This is a special teams guy. He is. I think he could get some starts if there's an injury to Trent Simpson, or Trent Simpson, who was drafted last year, doesn't play well. ball accounts, Trenton Simpson is playing. So I don't think he's going to start. I think he's going to play on special teams. I think he's going to be an insurance guy to start. They really are a little thin there as well. You did lose Patrick Queen there as well. I think this is a decent enough body to fill in. I think Chris Board understands certainly the Ravens defense and John Harbaugh and the system and all that other stuff that they want to do. I like this addition here, Chris Board. I think that is a good acquisition here. Couple more. Isaac hasn't really played, still battling an injury, but I got to tell you, play like a Raven. You see it all over him. Reminds me a lot of Tyus Bowser when I saw him. Definitely he's a guy that's perfect for what the Ravens do. He's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Runs the he can pass rush, but he's good on the back end. He can play linebacker. He can play in the middle, all over the field, like a good Swiss Army knife. I think his pass rushing is it's fascinating. You never know with a rookie. He might become a really good pass rusher, but I think he's definitely a Swiss Army knife. Definitely he can fit the role of a Tyus Bowser. Absolutely. They didn't have that last year. I'm sure they'd love to get that. This is the type of player that they would get. Got to get it healthy. He really hasn't participated yet. So is he going to be off to a slow start? Is he going to have to sit out in camp? Very important when rookies don't really play. Bigger deal. I saw one stream that said Nate Wiggins was going to start. He's not going to start. Nate Wiggins is not going to start. Unless there's an injury to Marlon Humphrey. But I think Nate Wiggins, I think this guy's the future. I think it's going to be sooner than later with him. Nate Wiggins, I think this was the fastest corner in the draft. I think of all the top ones. When I was looking at Terrion Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, and Nate Wiggins, he was the speedster. He's the guy as well. I think he's a little overconfident at times. I think that's the only flaw I see with him at times. He's got a little bit, not exactly textbook in the way he does things. He's got a little bit of the Marcus Peters in him as well, but he's got that ability. I mean, I don't think that's all bad. I don't think he starts right away, but definitely you could put him in the slot right away. But I think he might sit a little bit here early. I don't think they don't have to throw him in. That's good. You got Marlon Humphrey. Hopefully you can get him healthy. You got Brandon Stevens, who's really good still. So I think as early as next year he can start. I don't think he starts a lot this year unless there's an injury. But this is an outstanding pick. This was an outstanding pick. I don't know how much of an immediate need it was, but an outstanding pick. One more here. A couple more here. TJ Tampa for the Ravens as well. I'm pretty sure they didn't think he'd be here. I think if somebody had taken TJ Tampa in the first round, second round, no problem with that. I think definitely he's a guy. The zone coverage, he can absolutely do that. He's got to work on man-to-man and ball skills and all that. Interesting to see how much different the defense looks with Zach Orr as compared to Mike McDonald. I think this might be telling you something that maybe they're going to do a little bit more zone. I could see him kick him into safety at times as well if they need him to. But definitely he's a guy. This is definitely an upgrade. When you talk about like what they've had with Pepe Williams and Justin Armour Davis, these guys are definitely a step up. These guys are definitely an upgrade off of that as well. And Kadar Holloman as well. I think this is a guy who's going to help on special teams here for the Ravens. I don't think he's listed as a corner. I think he's a special teamer. I think he's a guy, if he makes the team, he's definitely a guy who's going to play the wedge, play on special teams. I think that's probably the role for him. It's a lot of corners here. And he's definitely going to push. I mean, we just talked about Pepe Williams, Justin Armour Davis. I'm not sure either one of them is on the team as well. Definitely, we will see how that goes. There you go. New additions to the team as well. So, there's a lot here. Definitely, we're all looking forward to seeing Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry, I am not at all worried about Derrick Henry. I mean, I've heard some worried about his age. Derrick Henry is still a beast. Derrick Henry is questioned. The question to me is how good is the line in front of him? Is the line in front of him good enough to go ahead and actually go ahead and make holes for Henry? And again, not to belabor, but John Harbaugh, are you going to give him the carries that he's looking for? Right? Are you going to give him the carries? Are you going to go ahead and use him that way? But you're going to yank him in and out, Justice Hill in? That'll be fascinating. But we will see how that goes. More Ravens here. Mini camp we're in day 2 as of this recording for the NFL minicamp. Ravens mandatory minicamp. So a lot of players there at minicamp today. So everybody, this is the one here where everybody's mandated to be here. Everybody's mandated. This is probably as close as you get to training camp as well, the minicamp. So they'll be running 7-on-7 drills. They'll be running 11-on-11 drills. They'll be basically stimulating what they do in camp for about 3 days here. Real quick, defense wins the first day. Offense wins second day. So yesterday, defense was ahead of the offense. That's not a big deal to me. It's usually the case with the Ravens, especially when you have good defenses, that they usually do better than the offense does. That's not a big deal. Offense was better today. Everything I read today, that the offense was better. They did better today. Lamar, no interceptions at all on the ground. So definitely good day for the Ravens offense as well. Overall, Kyle Hamilton is not here. Kyle Hamilton is not at camp. Elbow procedure. Hoping to have him back at camp. Now, Kyle Hamilton wasn't at OTAs, wasn't in anything. Somebody asked the question, reporter asked, hey, where's Kyle? Obviously, they're not saying anything that tells me I think they believe he'll be there as well. They haven't said much. They don't, a lot of times don't say much, but I believe that they'll have Kyle Hamilton as well. He expected ready for camp is basically the answer to that. Arthur Lamette, one play here, he was resigned in the offseason, according to Baltimore Beatdown here. Excellent practice today. Ripped the ball out of Zay Flowers' glove, and after he got caught on a crosser. Millet's been good. He's ready to fight. Like we just mentioned, did all those corners. TJ Tampa, Nate Wiggins, Kamal Howman. I guess even though they resigned, he's trying to hold on to his spot. And nickel, hold on to his prominent role in the defense as well. Lots of cornerback competition. So it's good to see Arthur Millet being really good here so far. Tavius Robinson continued a strong outing. Again, this is Baltimore Beatdown. Going offensive rookie tackle Roger wrote all he can handle in the running game as well. I keep reading about Robinson. Robinson's well. Robinson's doing well. There is maybe an opening here next to Dafi Owen. We don't know. Ajabo again, in and out. We'll see. It is possible. Isaac Robinson have a real opportunity here as well. Trent Simpson had another respectable practice. 11-on-11 a drill. Almost had an interception against Lamar. We're going to talk about Lamar in a second. I'm not worried about Trent Simpson at all. I think out of all the new starters, he's probably the one I'm worried the least about. He looked really good in that last game against the Steelers. Nobody noticed because it was kind of a meaningless game. But Trent Simpson has looked good. I think if somebody had picked him in the first round, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. So I think the Ravens have been anticipating this for a while, a Trent Simpson as well. We'll see how that goes in camp, having Trent Simpson as your starting inside linebacker. It was like Orioles won tonight, or 4-2. So outstanding. So I'm pulling this up now here as well. I want to talk about Lamar. Okay. Generally, like I've said, I don't like to make this about commentators and other. We talk a little about media, impact of media, how we watch games, personalities, and things like that. But I don't like to get into the criticism of other, but this was a what the H. I mean, just like stuff here. When I saw this, um, this is crazy. I mean, what I saw. So Nick Wright goes ahead and puts out his top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. His list of the top 5 quarterbacks. So this is what he had on his top 5. He had Pat Mahomes. He had Josh Allen. He had Joe Burrow. He had C.J. Stroud, and then he had Matt Stafford and Caleb Williams. He had to pick. He said, "Well, maybe I can't pick Caleb Williams," so I had Matt Stafford in the 5. And his son, who's on the podcast with him, asked him, was like, "Well, why didn't you have Lamar Jackson?" Well, I don't know. Lamar looked bad in the last game while he stopped. I mean, this is insane. I mean, we're reaching a point now where you're just trolling. Lamar, I posted this on Twitter, so I'm gonna read. Has 2 MVPs in NFL history. Okay, these are the names, only other names in NFL history with 2 or more MVPs. Peyton Manning has 5 MVPs. Aaron Rodgers has 4. Brett Favre has 3. Tom Brady has 3. Jim Brown has 3. Johnny Unitas has 3. Steve Young has 2. Kurt Warner has 2. Joe Montana has 2. All of those are Hall of Fame. Or, well, I take it back. Aaron Rodgers, not yet in the Hall of Fame. Tom Brady, not yet in the Hall of Fame. No doubt about it. They're going in the Hall of Fame. Okay? The disrespect is unprecedented in NFL history. This is unbelievable to me. I mean, Chris Sims had him top 4. Why does anybody have Josh Allen ahead of Lamar Jackson? Seriously, I mean, what has Josh Allen done better than Lamar, where he's ahead of? His teams are getting knocked out in the playoffs too every year. It's just, I've never seen, and I'm bringing this up because I've never seen this. I've never seen a guy this accomplished, and every year it's always this goalpost moving, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and he didn't do the other, and didn't do the other. You figure after winning an MVP for the second time, the youngest player ever to win 2 MVPs. I think he's the youngest guy to ever do it 2 times at the age of 27. That we're still talking about, well, he's not in the top 5. I mean, what is wrong with you, man? Nick Wright. I mean, what you dropped on your head or something? I mean, what's the matter with you? You need to get your bald head back or something. I mean, that's disrespectful. And Chris Sims and we know how they go. I mean, Chris Sims and Florio. I mean, those guys. Jesus, I don't know what the problem is with Lamar. They're always like kind of sneak. What they're always doing on that show is they're always kind of like sneak dissing. They kind of do it and then they don't. They kind of backpedal. They do it and all that, but they kind of just lay it out there. So, but good to see. Like when I put this on Twitter, put this on Facebook, we didn't care. He's an idiot, but let's just use that as motivation. Still, I'm sure all they're doing is fueling us as fans, fueling Lamar as fans with the idiot, because that's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous at this point. He's got 2 league MVPs. You know, and one more thing. Last week, top 20 Ravens of all time. I had Lamar at 3. I gotta make the same argument. How many Ravens have 3 MVPs? A lot of people were saying, of course there's argument, but a lot of people were saying, well, you should have had Super Bowl, would have had this. 2 MVPs. I mean, you're in rarefied air. That's the only guy on the list. So probably, I had Ed Reed ahead of him. I didn't know that. I had Ray Lewis ahead of him. I had J.O. ahead of him. I think Ray Lewis probably greatest inside linebacker of all time. He had like 16 Pro Bowls, 2 Defensive Player of the Years, which I kind of count with the MVP because you don't give an offensive, you don't pretty much give a defensive guy MVP. So I kind of count that similar to that. And then he had a Super Bowl when he had 2 Super Bowls. So Ray's ahead of him, and then also you had J.O. ahead of him. That's about it. Ed Reed won Defensive Player of the Year like once. And again. So Lamar, all the criticism is just crazy. I've never said, It's complete insanity. Some of the criticism of Lamar, so it's wild. All right, top 10 running backs in the NFL. We're gonna go ahead and continue this list here. So this is going into the season 2024. Who are some of the top 10 running backs in the NFL? A lot of change on the list. Okay, so a lot of the names that were here last year are here this year. So a lot of stuff has changed. Bit of a projection, but I'm going to take Bijan Robinson of the Falcons. Definitely, I think the team is better in Atlanta. I think this guy has all the talent in the world. I definitely think top 5 talent. Definitely the better quarterbacking. I think he'll have more of the load to himself. I'm definitely going to put him in the top 10. If I'm picking 10 guys, I want Bijan Robinson, his tremendous speed that he has in there. Here's a guy, DeAndre Swift. I got to admit, this guy went under the radar for me as well. But he was very good last year in Detroit. Now with the Bears, I definitely think this is good for him. Definitely, he's going to get a lot of carries. They're going to have a rookie, Caleb Williams, in Chicago. Power back. Definitely, he's definitely the combo back. He's got the power and he's got the speed as well. Definitely, his numbers are very good. I definitely would take him in the top 10. I think the Bears' offense is going to be better. It's going to be better in part because of DeAndre Swift. Also, to outside receivers. Very fascinating to see the Bears this year. Interesting to see. Never seen a Bears offense like a lot of times. This guy might be one of the fastest players in the entire league. Definitely watching him. I don't know if you maybe have Tyreek Hill out running him, but Travis Etienne is super quick. Maybe not big enough to stand with low. That's the only concern I have with him. A little smallish, but super quick. I mean, no way he gets steps that guys are going to catch him for the backside. I think he's very, very underrated about how quick, about his speed. I think they should use him more, take some of the pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. So I think that'd be good for both of them. I think get more carries for Travis Etienne. I love him to death. I think he's tremendous guy. I'll put him at 7. I'll put him at 8. This is 7. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs with the Packers. I think definitely he's going to a situation out of Las Vegas, absolutely more advantageous to him. Definitely he's a guy going to the north, NFC North, where they run the football, where it's cold, perfect build. Definitely had a stupendous year last couple years. A lot more running backs paid. So this tells me in the league, the last couple years, running backs couldn't get big contracts. They did last year. So that tells me teams feel that they need to run the ball. I think there's been a bit of a running back shortage, de-emphasizing the run. I think Josh Jacobs will do much better. I think in Green Bay. James Cook. Finally, the Bills have a running back. They're going to need it. They're there, and that's why I think he's on the list as well. Outstanding running back, I think. Big, strong power back. Got a lot of yards for them, over 1,000 yards, and they took the receivers away. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis on them. I think he can handle it. I think this guy might be the second coming of Derrick Henry. It's going to be hard. You're not going to tackle him with one arm. James Cook, he's fantastic. This guy was fantastic. Kyron Williams, I think he was as good as anybody last year. This is like also too with Sean McVay, part of the Sean McVay system. I was very impressed when they played the Ravens last year with this guy. He's going to get his carries, definitely. He can stay healthy. They've been trying really hard to find a back with the Rams and Williams. One of those late round picks. They haven't had early picks, but Kyron Williams, definitely, I definitely think he's going to get 1,400 yards with Sean McVay. Here's Nick Chubb. You could have argued had him at 1, but the injury, we're still waiting. I'm going to be kind here and put him at 4. But I don't think the Browns are going to change any. They're going to use Nick Chubb. They're going to run him a lot. Does he still, after a big injury, like how much is he still left? Is he still the same player? I kind of would lean more toward he is. Definitely considering he's going to get every opportunity. They need him with the way Deshaun Watson hasn't been as well. But I think Nick Chubb, I'd still pencil him in for 1,400 yards. I'd take him on base. Getting a little older, but I still have him in the top 4. Our guy, Derrick Henry. King Henry, I think, is terrific. Um, Getting a little older. I'm not worried about that at all. I think he's on the right team. He's in the right place. Um, I think this is a perfect fit where he is as well. Derrick Henry, I think, is probably what the concern. I think we just talked about it, but Henry. The concern is, I think, is he going to get enough carries to do the damage that he used to do? That's a bigger concern for me. But he's terrific. You know what you're getting. He's a bulldozer. Number 3. I'm gonna put him behind Saquon at 2, simply because the fit with the Eagles. All that Saquon had to do in with the Giants, he's going to have it even better now. He's got great receivers. He's got a much better quarterback. He's gonna, and he is motivated to beat the Giants. I think. Look, don't underestimate that. Sometimes I've seen it. I'll use basketball term. Shaq, all of a sudden, he left the Lakers, went to the Heat years ago. He lost about 20 pounds. He wanted to show him, and I think this is the case here with Saquon Barkley. I think he's ready to show him. I have it too. Does have problems staying healthy. That's the only thing. This guy used to have this issue, no longer that issue. Christian McCaffrey, number 1, definitely a case for MVP last year. Absolutely. I think had this been 15, 16, 20 years ago, that he definitely could have been the MVP. But McCaffrey, I think, in that system, it's almost grand larceny with this guy. Running behind Trent Williams with his speed, his versatility, catch probably. I think these two catching the ball out of the backfield. I mean, you could just do that 20 times to get tremendous production out of him. Easy, number 1, Christian McCaffrey. There you go. So let's go ahead and get that squared away. So top 10 in the NFL next week. Wideouts. Let's see. Number 1's going to surprise next week with the wideouts. So definitely check that out. All right. NBA Finals are going on right now. Not now. Right now. Okay. So the NBA Finals are going on. And basically, the Celtics have been basically taking control of this thing. I don't think the Celtics are going to have Porzingis the rest of the way. He's not going to play. He's not playing in tonight's game. He's injured. I don't think that's going to matter. I think they just have too much here. I think it's fascinating the criticism of Jason Tatum. They're not watching what I'm watching. They're putting 3 guys on Tatum, and then Brown is busting their head open. That's what I'm seeing. I think we get so hung up sometimes on guys being like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or their personality and all that. Tatum is a quiet guy. That's kind of the thing with LeBron. He doesn't, he's not like Brown's a little bit more energetic, but Brown's working with a lot more space than Jason Tatum is. He's getting 2 or 3 guys, and he's too good. I mean, he's just going to destroy you with those one-on-ones. In a lot of situations, he would get those double teams, but he's not getting double teams. Kristaps is going to hurt them not having him. I don't know how healthy he was anyway. I think they tried to play him in the finals. He hadn't been playing, so that's good. I think they'll do fine without Horford in there as well. Drew Holiday's been really good for them. The Boston, they're a complete team. They are all over Luka Doncic, and they should. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You're playing Doncic. I'm surprised. Every time he touches it, he's got 3 guys around him. That's what you got to do. Kyrie's kind of, for whatever reason, isn't playing well in Boston. Hasn't. So maybe going home will help him. I still think it'll be the Celtics winning this series as well. I definitely, it's just too much firepower. Too much firepower. Doncic is going to play in Game 3, from what I understand. I think he's been like hobbling through the whole playoffs, but you never know. I mean, he's been so productive, but we'll see. I don't think the Celtics have enough. I don't think the Mavs have enough. Though. I think they've gotten as far as they can go here. I like the Celtics. I'm not a Celtic fan. He's true. But I definitely think they're the better team here as well. Oh, that's wrong. Next graphic. We'll get to baseball in a second. Rest in peace. Just want to say rest in peace to the great Jerry West. Looks like he passed away on Wednesday at the age of 86. For those of you that don't know, if you've probably seen it on social media, the logo is what the great Michael Jordan called him. He is, if you see the NBA logo, that is actually Jerry West, the logo of the NBA. He's a little bit before me as a player as well. Uh, he played in the early, I think he retired in the early 70s. So yeah, he kind of preceded me as a player, but he didn't precede me as a GM. I think the issues we're going to get to Dan Hurley, but the issues that the Lakers have kind of without Jerry West has kind of been going that way. Put that on camera. Like it's he was the one that put together a lot of those Showtime teams, in the post Showtime era in between those years, making sure he drafted so well in the days where like the draft so much mattered in the NBA. Put a lot of those teams together. Got Shaquille to come. Got Kobe to come. Got drafted Kobe Bryant. Got the trade for Kobe Bryant rather. So definitely it was Jerry West who was the architect of the great Laker teams. Because again, I don't know if they've ever recovered from that fully. So shout out to the great Jerry West. Rest in peace to the logo Jerry West. Also with the Lakers this week, Dan Hurley is going to stay at UConn. So the Lakers have offered him, I think it was 6 years, $70 million. It was reported. He's going to go ahead and keep it with the Lakers as well. I was hoping for. I'm a big Laker fan, so I was kind of hoping I was hoping he would take it as well. I'm not in a hurry to do anything if I'm Dan Hurley. I mean, when you're at the top of your field and you go hold all the cards, let's even say he took the job and failed. I don't think that would have hurt him. I mean, he could have easily went back to college and got a job. I mean, easy. So it definitely wouldn't hurt him at all. So definitely Dan Hurley, I think, is a great would be a great hire. I think they're still looking at JJ Redick. I think he is kind of be the favorite here still as well. I think they're still looking at that. Interesting to see how that goes. Who the Lakers actually hire. I know they want to have. You definitely want to have one before the draft, though. Draft's here in about 2 or 3 weeks here. So you definitely want to have one before draft. You don't want to build a team without a coach. But it is soon after the season, unlike the NFL, where you have time to implement. So you definitely want to get this going. They're definitely hiring. I think they would have hired somebody if they weren't rating on JJ Redick or Dan Hurley. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but we will see about that here as well. All right, so let's get to cracking it. I'm ready to play. All right, and let's talk about the Aberdeen Ironbirds. So apparently, this is the best pitching park in the Orioles organization. The Aberdeen Ironbirds, owned by the Ripken family, as we all know, in Aberdeen, one of the best Amic logistic bases. Used to be Aberdeen Proving Grounds, not that far from Aberdeen as well. Shout out there to who's working at the Aberdeen Proving Grounds there. And the Ironbirds are 29-29 this year. This shows the real strength of the minor league system here, the Aberdeen Ironbirds. So definitely that's absolutely the case for the Orioles, having that strength of the minor league system, having a good team like the Aberdeen Ironbirds. AAA, and I want to explain minor league system again. AAA, obviously that's closest to the majors. So you got guys that are older. You got guys 29, 30. Orioles just called up somebody who had been on the run. Those are the guys you want in AAA. Not all great prospects, but a lot of them can help you right away. That's what you want, like AAA. To me, AA is the test. That is the test where you have your prime prospects do well, play if you see. Jackson Holiday, I think, was promoted a lot of times because of how well it did AA. Years ago, Manny Machado came straight from AA. AA is what you're really looking at with a player. If you do well in double A, that is it. High A, what this is the first test. Okay? So this is kind of another level where double A, I think if you're strong in double A and you're a good prospect and you're a high prospect, you will be able to go to the majors, no question about it. I think with high A, this is the test to see if you can go to double A, right? And you're going to have names here on the list that have shown, okay, I can play in the majors. I can play. I'm eligible for the majors. I can do it. Guys who've done well at the lower levels. Next week we're going to talk about Delmarva, but guys who have made it to Aberdeen have played well at the lower levels, or you have some obviously great prospects here like high draft picks, etc. But that's how it is. So with Aberdeen, with the A ball, the high A, now you're playing a whole season with really good minor league players in Aberdeen. So it's a good test here. High A, Aberdeen here as well. So let's talk about the Ironbirds here. You know what? Let's get that banner back up. I'm sorry. Let's get that banner back up. All right, so let's talk about the Aberdeen Ironbirds as well. So Felipe Rojas is the manager. Jack Graham is the general manager. He's been there for many years with the Ironbirds. Zach Fruit is the 9th round pick in 2023 for them. Watching him, still some work to do. He kind of overthrows to me. He's not by himself as a minor league player. Stats not quite there yet, but definitely got some work to do there. 2023 third round draft pick Tavian Rosen, picked third in the third round, the 100th pick of the draft. Pull hitter, really pull from you beside the plate. Definitely just needs to work on plate discipline, in my opinion. They really think he's a guy who can kind of get there, but definitely has a natural power. Juan Nunez, again, talking about Mike Elias's minor league system, definitely from the Dominican Republic. Definitely here's a guy that's coming out of that minor league system there. Mixes a lot of pitches, A-plus fastball, again, overthrowing. I see that with him a lot. I think that's why he's lacking command that he likes, but definitely keep an eye on him. Still young, still like 20, still like 23 years old. All right, so let's talk about who are the better performers on this Iron Bird Dreams. Creed Williams, I love it, man. Creed Williams is fantastic. Creed Williams, I think, has Kyle Schwarber vibes all over. Watching him play, if you're a Kyle Schwarber fan, a lot of you are not Philly fans, I understand, but Kyle Schwarber, that's what I see when I see Creed Williams. Defensively, he's not going to stay catcher, I don't think. He's playing catcher. He's going to play first base. I could definitely see him outfield, like a left field for him. But look at that. 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, hitting 217. So definitely outstanding. I definitely think he's prospect. Prospects are not number order here. I just named them, but not necessarily number order. Mac Horvath, 22 years old, fresh out of college from the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Compare him a lot to Max Wagner from Clemson, who got Orioles drafted. Very similar to Max Horvath. Played third base. I think that's his best position, but he's been in left. He's been in right. He's a dead pull hitter. Him and Max Wagner, if they can pull their average up, stay healthy, they're going to be major. They definitely have major league power. I don't care if they're using wood or aluminum bat. They definitely have that. Enrique Benfield, the number 1 draft pick from last year, already at Aberdeen, and this is as advertised. This is exactly what you thought you'd be getting. No home runs, 10 RBIs, 255 average, 25 steals. Definitely he's a guy, he's going to be the center fielder for the Orioles at some point. There's no question about it. His speed is just tremendous. You can't keep him off the base pass. A lot of these Iron Birds are like that. It's not just Benfield. Keep an eye on Matthew Edsel. Here's a guy who's worked his way through the levels. Once again, hitting over 300 hitting 300, 304 for a home run, 35 RBIs, 31 stolen bases. So he's giving you a little bit of everything, and he's probably been their best player here. Elo Prado is the guy, definitely another guy with great speed here. 3 home runs, 22 RBIs. Kind of with that collapsed stance. He's above average in all aspects around here. Again, very, very quick. They got him in the Andrew Castor trade a couple years ago. So definitely high hopes for him. Still very young. Edgar Portez, probably one of the better relievers this year. 3-0 with a 2.06 ERA as well. So he's been good for them this year. Moises Chance as well for them. Throws it about 92, 96. Delivery is pretty easy as well. I think he's got potential. He definitely could be a control pitcher. I like his motion. I like the way he throws. He doesn't overthrow. Kind of like the opposite of like what you see with a lot of young players as well. And Jackson Burmester, I think he's the best prospect I think the Orioles have in the pitching. I actually like him better than a lot of other people do. He's a little wild. I think you got to get that under control at times, but I love his stuff. I think he mixes pitches very well. 52 strikeouts as well. I think he's kind of finding his way here. You see it. 189 ERA, 52 strikeouts. So off to a good start. I like it. I think at some point he's going to be in their top 50 prospects there. So there you go. Get them off screen there. Next week, as you saw it, we're going to be talking about the Del Marfa Shorebirds as well as part of our baseball summer series. So definitely. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play. All right. So definitely check that out. Baseball summer series. Baseball keeps us company all summer long. Definitely check that out as well. So let's go to the Orioles report. All right, so let's talk about the Orioles week that we just had here. So definitely let's go ahead and check that out here as well. Orioles sweep the wraparound series. What's the wraparound? So it starts on Friday, it ends on Monday. Simply put, Orioles go ahead and win 4 in a row against Tampa. Tampa's offense is not good. Tampa's offense really looked bad. I think the Orioles, they get good starting pitching every game. It doesn't matter who it is. They order runs to keep in the game. Earl Weaver, the late great Earl Weaver, love this team. They hit for power and they get a good start every night. That's exactly what the Orioles was. Not a lot of stolen bases, a lot of station to station, but very good. Defensively also very good. Braves lost tonight here. It looks like here it was 4-2. I think it was as well. A lot of you saw. I'm recording this while the game was going on as well. So I think looks like Colin Cowser was here tonight. I think like the Braves offense was bad. They really didn't look in that first game. Let's say they're bad. Oh man. Not talk too much about it, but man, Austin Riley, what are you doing? Michael Harris, I mean, just compared to last year, looked really bad. So Orioles took advantage of that, actually going ahead and doing it. Who's hot? You can put Adley on there every week. Adley had 6 RBIs in one game. That was terrific. Garner, I think, is still may wind up this season leading the MLB in home runs. Ryan O'Hearn, I think, has been one of the most. He might be the best player in the league, maybe now, not to make the All-Star game this year. He's his timely hitting is fantastic. That's all he's done the last 2 years. Just hit when you need it. It's been terrific. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn has been great. I hate to keep putting Cedric on here, but it's a struggle, man. We're pulling for Cedric though. We're gonna say good things. Stowers has been playing less. So he's been sitting. Urias showed a little life, but he's still struggling. I mean, if you look at the last 3 games, not doing as well here. Dean Kramer making progress, according to the article here, with the tricep strain injured late last month. Brian House say everything is trending in the right direction. I agree with that. He'll be back in the rotation. They'll send somebody down. I think it'll probably be Povich. They send down. They're pretty much rolling right now with a 6-man rotation. Now that is in part because they're playing every day. They haven't had days off in a while, so they're kind of using 6. And also too, they're setting the rotation up for the big Philly series that's coming. Bad news: Daddy Colombe placed on the 15-day DL, retroactive to June 9th. So they do that retroactive. You do that so you can pull him off early if he hasn't already been playing. Reinstated Jorge Mateo. Recalled Brian Barker. I almost forgot he was in Norfolk that they had him, so they brought him back. And Connor Norby was sent to Norfolk. Some people, for whatever reason, were surprised Connor Norby was sent to Norfolk. I kind of thought that's what they would do in the beginning. They're gonna, he had never been to the majors. It was easy to option him down. He wasn't gonna play enough to really stick, so they were gonna bring him back. If Mateo, he might have stayed if Mateo had stayed out, but Mateo's back. He deserves to be back, and he's, they were gonna send him down. There was some call from Mullins. I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't know how much more patient they're gonna be. Mullins is hitting 180, but it'd be interesting to see that here as well. This is an interesting note here. 5 consecutive starts for Corbin Burns with James McCann as the catcher. So he's registered a 2.17 ERA with McCann. Interesting. A lot of it starts on the weekend when McCann plays more because you sit like a starter catcher, like if you have a night game and a day game. Traditionally, the starting catcher sits, or in a lot of cases with the Orioles, they've been DHing him. So it looks like that McCann might be the personal catcher for Burns. This is brilliant, right? So you get McCann his time to pitch, his time to play as the backup catcher when Burns pitches. It's brilliant because he's not a better catcher than Adley, I don't think, but he doesn't need Adley, right? You can have Adley work with the guys that need him more. That's perfect. So definitely as well. And for Burns, Burns is so talented. He's 7-2. His ERA is under that. It's great, man, who it is. So this is brilliant. To me, it makes all the sense in the world. Years ago, Oakland A's had this when he had Ron Hassey, backup catcher, Terry Steinbach started for them. Makes all the sense in the world. Last one, next week, the big series, the Phils, 2 of the best teams in all the MLB, are going to play this weekend. The Orioles have lined up the rotation. They're going to have Burns. They're going to have Grayson. They're going to have Bradish in this series. I'm all for it. Absolutely. And the Yankees. Second to the Yankees as well. Yankees don't scare me. Yankees are good, though. Yankees offense is really good. Soto, I think there's something going on. So a little bit of injury. But the Yankees, and that's going to be huge for the Orioles going forward as we move towards the break. All right. Last one. I'm going to say Corbin Burns, pitcher of the week. He's been terrific all season. He was terrific in his last start. I thought Corbin was fantastic. So I think Burns definitely deserves player of the week with 2 starts. Last 3 starts, 7 innings plus. All right. Thank you very much for joining the Ravery Sports Podcast. You have a great rest of your week. Enjoy all the